how sure are we that the money that we are going to borrow on interest, we are going to spend this money?
We cannot be sure. We are not sure at all.
And I'm hoping this is one of the questions we are going to ask.
Yes.
Very well.
Yes, we are not sure at all. But this squarely falls in the docket of Mheshimiwa.
Yes.
It is actually the Parliament's role to make sure that they play a proper oversight role over the executive.
And we must say that the Parliament has not been doing a good job there.
I think we should, sorry, O'Brien, you've asked a very fundamental question. The issue of the absorption rates, and the rate that you quoted is actually for development expenditure.
Yes.
Recurrent is a bit higher than that. But what really matters to us is development, because development is what brings in the return, what brings in real value to the economy. Now, with the advent of even devolution, we are even more worried, because we might have developed corruption. We are hearing cries all over the country in terms of corruption all over. And I think it's a serious issue that we have. Look at all the counties and you realize that their development is less than probably 30%.
Yes,
the rest is going to be
7%.
Yes, the rest is going to recurrent. So you ask, the question you ask is a fundamental question, and as Parliament, of course, both houses, we've got a role to oversight and to ensure that these absorption rates improve. I can assure you that these are questions that we ask every time when we meet the CS. We meet him so regularly, and every time we meet him, we ask him about the issue of absorption, to the extent that now we're saying, as a Parliamentary Budget Committee, next year, when you bring in your budget estimates, first we want to look at each line of ministry, how much have you spent so far? If you have spent only 50% of a billion shilling that we had given you, means you still have 500 and you're coming to us for another billion or two again. We'll tell you, sorry, that is not going to come. We will add that 500 that was left, and ensure that we only whatever. So I think the issue of absorption is very, very important, and is going forward.
Muchiri, you're sitting next to Abdir Kadir Eden, excuse me, who is a member of the and Appropriation Committee of the National Assembly. I want you to face him and tell him what they should do with this request by Treasury.
Okay, Mheshimiwa, I think this is a very serious, this is a very serious issue that you are handling, not only as Parliament but also for the whole of Kenya. And essentially, for it to make sense to borrow, the government has to make sure that the growth expected from the borrowing is much more than what will be paid out as interest, the cost of servicing the loan. So, Mheshimiwa, I would like maybe, when you talk to the government and when you play your oversight role, to make sure that the growth expected from these borrowings far much exceed the cost of servicing the loan. Otherwise, what will end up is we'll have a very overtaxed population.
Thank you.
And as you can see,
actually there was a report that was authored by the BPO, that is the budget
parliamentary office.
Parliamentary office, that said that there are fears that Kenyans are likely to be burdened by this new request. I want you to wind up for us, and I want to hear from you, what is the opinion of the other members of BPO?
I think the matter now is before the House. The opinion of the Parliamentary Budget Office, which is an office that is equipped with expertise almost equal to that of Treasury, is very clear that debt ceiling of 2.5 is not a comfortable thing to do.
It's not a comfortable.
Unless the government proves, as Muchiri rightfully said, that there are certain indicators which are going to be the growth factors, the growth indicators for the economy. You need to tell us that we will finance this, and in so doing, we will generate this much growth for the economy. I can assure you, I can tell you, Treasury in the first day came to put this request on a very simple way, but we went back to, we told them to go back and itemize for us exactly what they wanted to use. The things that they want to finance now are things that have got, whose returns will have of a very long term in nature. What happens in the short term? We are already paying huge debts, interest even. Interest this year alone will be in excess of about 20 billion shillings for Kenyans to pay interest back. So the questions that we will be asking, and I can assure you that this is a process that is ongoing. It hasn't ended. They don't yet have the go-ahead from Parliament to say that you have the 2.5 billion. We will scrutinize it. We will question them again and again before we make any decision. I personally, I am on a very conservative mode as to allowing them that.
Actually, I'm trying to read in between the lines.
Yes.
And I can feel like this is a shot in the dark for Treasury. At that point, we have to come to an end of this interview. Thank you very, very much for your insight and, of course, for shedding more light on this issue. We appreciate your time, of course, of joining us here. Starlings Muchiri, thank you very much. And Abdul Kadir Aidan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, we have been discussing the thorny subject of raising the debt ceiling from the current 1.2 trillion shillings to 2.5 trillion shillings, a request, of course, that has been made by the National Treasury in order to cater for more infrastructural projects that are currently underway. And you have heard it from the expert and, of course, from the honourable member of the budget the budget office of the National Assembly. Thank you very much. You are watching Business Insight. Short break is well deserved, and thereafter I'll be right back with more stories. You don't need to touch that dial. Stay right here.